He was a ruthless demon king hellbent on destroying all of humanity, but a human baby ends up changing his heart and he decides to adopt him and live his life as an ordinary loser in the human world. The story starts in a remote village on the continent, where the young Alicia lives with her dad. She is full of excitement and curiosity about everything. And when she notices the map of the world has blurred out everything apart from Edthea, she asks her dad about it, who decides to drop the lore of their world on her. The continent of Edthea is home to 5 humanoid races, including regular humans, ogres, the sea people called Sladen, a race of barbarians called Benti, and the elves with dog-like noses called Haiden. Out of these 5 races, the Haiden people are known for their forging and smithing skills, and only their royal family knows the secrets of turning a rare mineral called arcanite into weapons. The 5 species live together mostly in peace, but their world is limited just to the continent of Edthea, because beyond that is an unexplored place full of magic beasts and their kings, who block the way of humans. He says that the 4 demon lords guarding each direction are incredibly strong, and they have wiped out all the expedition parties sent to their territories. Alicia is disappointed on hearing that they will have to live on Edthea forever, but her dad tells her that according to a legend, one day a hero among heroes will use a secret weapon given to him by the king of Haiden to slay the 4 demon lords and open up the world for humans. He tells her that the demon lords are strong enough to tear down mountains, and the only way humans can fight against them is by using the special weapons that only the king of Haiden has. Alicia gets excited on hearing this and says that she will become a hero and get the special weapons to defeat the demon lord and make the world a much wider place. Fast forward many years, Alicia walked the talk, and now she is one of the 13 heroes selected by the king of Haiden. She travels in a carriage with 6 other heroes, thinking that it is finally the time for her to fulfill her promise to her dad. The guys in the carriage start chatting about how special it is to see so many powerful people in one place, and one of them remarks that it is even rarer to see a female hero. He asks Alicia where she is from, but she doesn't give him an answer. Just then, another hero named Stefan steps in, telling everyone to be ready because they are about to step in the enemy territory. While the other guys are irritated because Stefan is acting as their leader, they can't argue because he is the strongest one of them. Stefan then casually winks at Alicia because he did that just to save her from the awkward small talk. But she is not really interested in him either. Just then, the carriage abruptly stops and the driver tells the heroes that the road ahead is not suitable for driving. Stefan says that he was expecting this, and they will have to travel on foot from here on. Suddenly, a magic beast comes there and swoops the driver away, forcing everyone into action. There are more magic beasts around, and they take away the second driver and begin snacking on the horses. The heroes come out of their carriages and Stefan directs them to take position so that they can head to the summit and face the demon lord without any casualties. The heroes use their special weapons and the ability they give them to fight off against the magic beasts. But the Lord of South, Clevitus, watches them from afar. The heroes keep fighting the monsters one by one and then head to the Luna Mountain, where Demon King Clev lives. They spot the Demon King on the top of the mountain, and then it suddenly travels to their location in the form of a lightning bolt. The heroes are awestruck to see the majestic monster that is radiating a strange golden aura. They can tell that Clev is incredibly strong, but Stefan takes this moment to aura farm and declares that the 13 heroes will defeat it with the power of the weapons from Haiden Kingdom. He commands everyone to charge ahead, but then suddenly, he gets hit by something so fast that no one has even the time to react. Stefan hits a rock behind him and is left a broken mess, while the demon lord lets his blood drip from his tail. The heroes freak out on seeing this, and one guy rushes in to get revenge. Alicia tries to warn him because her instincts tell her something is wrong, but no one is going to listen to a woman. The hammer guy leaps at Clev, but he gets hit by his tail that tears off his head in an instant. The other heroes start panicking and think of retreating, but they don't know that Clev can control shadows, and he sends his tails through the shadows of the heroes to stab them from the back. Alicia is the only one who notices this, and she immediately notifies everyone, telling them to keep jumping so that they are far away from their shadows. No one is fast enough to keep up with her instructions, but while others are getting ratioed, Alicia dodges Clev's attacks and dashes towards him. Clev is impressed by her presence of mind, but as opposed to her, the guys are a hopeless cause. They try to fight against the demon lord directly, only to get one-shotted by his tails, and Clev is curious about why they are here. He has only viewed humans as insects in his long life, and the last time he saw them was 1,000 years ago. He wonders how and why creatures as weak as them are here while continuing to massacre them until only Alicia is left. She dodges all of the demon lord's attacks and then flies towards him, hitting him with her full strength, only to scratch his horn. Clev is irritated by this, and he sends a powerful gust of wind that chops Alicia and her dreams. The demon lord, however, is not satisfied with this, and he decides to pay the humans a visit to learn why are they targeting his land. He goes to Hydrat, the capital city of the Haydn Kingdom, where blacksmiths are working tirelessly to forge weapons. As soon as Clev lands on a watchtower, everyone freaks out and runs away to safety. Clev recalls that the heroes talked about the king of Haydn giving them the special weapons, and he realizes that he should have a chat with the guy as a fellow king. In the meantime, the soldiers guarding the city arrive there to fight against him, but he doesn't even pay them any attention. He just thinks that he will kill everyone in his way until he reaches the king, because that is exactly what the heroes did in his territory. The soldiers start shooting at him, but they are not even worth his time, so Clev simply ignores them and starts running on rooftops, heading in the direction of the royal palace. The royal guards also get ready to face him and bring out their big weapons, but their attacks are too slow and too weak to do anything against him. He simply tears down the castle walls, and a messenger runs to the king to inform him about the situation. Judging by the tremors and the loud sounds, the king had already guessed that the heroes have failed and the demon lord is here. He says that the strength of the weapons he gave to the heroes might not have been up to the mark, and he failed to make the legend come true in his age. His soldiers tell him to flee to safety, but the king refuses because he knows that there is no running away from the demon lord. He decides to use his remaining time to seal the forge deep within the palace, because if that is destroyed, they will lose their means to ever fight back against the magic beasts. Meanwhile, the royal guards bring out special weapons that use the same red metal arcanite as the heroes' weapons, and Clev realizes that this is the only thing that poses any real threat to him. He remembers that Alicia's attack scratched his horn, and he begins thinking that even insects can be dangerous with proper weapons. He immediately destroys the weapons, and then decides to destroy the forge as well, because he doesn't want humans to grow any stronger. Back in the palace, the king opens the door to the forge, but just as he is about to enter it, the rumbling grows louder and closer. The king closes the door, choosing to stay outside the forge instead, and just then, the roof is torn apart by Clev, who tells the king that he was searching for him. The king is shocked to see him speaking the human language, and says that a beast should not use their language. Clev tells him to be careful about his words because if he doesn't like them, he will destroy not just his kingdom, but all of humanity. He asks the king to tell him what kind of people are the humanoids who live in Edthia, and why do they keep coming to his territory even when he has stopped them every time. The king decides to go out like a true Aura farmer and tells the demon lord that a beast like him won't understand his reasons. Clev just swipes his head away with his tail and decides that he will eradicate all 5 humanoid races. As he walks back while planning to raise an army, he hears the sound of a crying baby. He decides to ignore the baby, but then the woman who got crushed under the rubble trying to protect the baby asks him to stop. She asks him to save the child, and Clev is dumbfounded because no one in their right mind would ask him to save someone. He simply tells the woman that he is planning to destroy all of humanity, and she should blame the fact that she was born as a human for her death. The woman tells him that children can't choose when and where they are born, and he should not let the kid die just because the adults tried to harm him. Her words force Clev to turn around, and he asks her to prove that the child is worth saving. She tells him that she can't do it because she is going to die, but when the child grows up, he will prove his worth himself. She dies with that, and Clev decides to take the boy with him after all. He is not really convinced by what the woman told him, but for him, a human's lifespan is too short, and he could use this chance to observe one up close. Back at the Luna Mountain, the magic beasts try to eat the boy, but Clev scares them away. He is already getting irritated by the baby's constant crying, and he uses a bit of his power to restore the baby's strength, but he knows that it won't be enough. He doesn't know the first thing about humans and throws the baby into a pile of poop eating bugs when he soils himself. The baby starts crying even harder at this, and Cleve feels like he made the worst mistake of his life in bringing him here. However, as the king of magic beasts, he can't go back on his decisions just because he is inconvenienced. He plans to watch over the kid and then decide if the humanoids are worth saving, and the most important for the baby to grow up well is a mother. Soon, Alicia wakes up from a nightmare about her father being killed by a menacing knight, and she is not even sure where she is right now. As soon as she hears Cleve's voice, she turns around and tries to draw her sword, but he tells her that he threw the sword as well as her companions to the bottom of the valley. He says that she was the only one useful among them, so he revived her body using his dark mana. Alicia can't understand what he means by that. Suddenly, she notices that her leg that was torn off is attached to her body again, and she realizes that she died, and now she is just a zombie running on the Demon King's magic. She is utterly confused by that, but then Cleve tells her to get to work and show him her mommy milkers. Alicia freaks out because she didn't expect even the Demon Lord to be a gooner, but he tells her to stop stalling because the baby is hungry. When she doesn't obey, Cleve uses his power to control her body against her will, and he makes Alicia strip, only to find that she can't produce milk because she is a virgin. Alicia lashes out at Cleve for not knowing even this, but he calls her a useless instead. She is flustered by this and demands him to kill her rather than humiliating her like this. But Cleve pins her to the ground, telling her that as long as his power flows through her body, she can't be killed. The baby suddenly starts crying, and Cleve says that he can't do anything about its hunger even with his power. Alicia asks him why the hell does he have a Hydnian baby with him, and he tells her that he wants to see the child grow up and judge humanity based on him. He tells Alicia that she is going to give all the information he needs about raising a kid, and the first thing he asks her is how to feed the baby. Alicia can't go against his command and says that he needs to find a wet nurse to feed the baby, and most people hire one using money. Cleve doesn't get the concept of money, so Alicia tells him he can hire anyone in exchange for the arcanite that is scattered around his mountain because it is incredibly rare in human regions. Cleve decides to go and hire a wet nurse immediately, but Alicia stops him, asking if he is stupid or something. She tells him that people will freak out the moment they see him, and he can forget about hiring a nurse. She tells him to give the baby to her because she can find a wet nurse for him. But in reality, she plans to save the baby from the Demon King. However, Cleve refuses to let the child leave his sight, and to solve the problem of his appearance, he uses his immense mana and transforms into a human-like form. Alicia freaks out on seeing this, and Cleve tells her that he took the form of the human protecting the child using his power to control the shadows. She tells him to do something about his tails as well, and Cleve sends them inside his shadow, but he doesn't hide the horn. He then decides to name the child Luna after the mountain that is his home, and tells Alicia to lead him to a wet nurse. On the way, they stop at the campsite where Alicia and the other heroes stayed because there is a river nearby. He tells Alicia to wash Luna carefully and keeps nagging about the details. She is annoyed, but also surprised that even a demon lord can have OCD. Once she is done washing the baby, Cleve tells Alicia to wash herself because she is covered in blood and dirt, which is not a good thing for the baby. He also gives her the cloth that Luna was wrapped in, and once Alicia washes the shit stains off it, she finds the crest of the Hydnian royal family. She freaks out on realizing that Luna is actually from the Hydnian royal family, but she is unaware how Cleve got him. She immediately confronts him about it, asking how he could kidnap a member of the royal family, but Cleve informs her that Luna was actually entrusted to him. Alicia doesn't believe him, but Cleve shares the details about how an injured woman told him to take the baby after he destroyed the royal palace and killed everyone there. Alicia panics on hearing this and says that everyone will be looking for the kid because only the royal family of Hydnian knows the secrets to turn arcanite into weapons. However, she soon realizes that she overshared, because after knowing the true legacy of the kid, Cleve decides to make him the puppet king of Hydnian and use him to control the kingdom from the shadows. Alicia realizes that she made a mistake, but she is certain that Cleve is obsessed with Luna for some reason. She thinks that if someone harms Luna, Cleve might crash out and destroy all of humanity, and she will stop that at all costs as that is her last job as the hero. The two of them soon reach human territory and immediately get ambushed by some bandits. Alicia tries warning Cleve about it, but it is too late. and he gets bonked hard by the bandit. Alicia realizes that the bandits are going to die now, but then suddenly, Cleve falls to the ground and starts bleeding out. Alicia can't believe her eyes and starts screaming, so another bandit hits her in the back of the head to knock her out. Soon, the rumbling of the bandit carriage wakes Alicia up, and she gets shocked to see that she has been captured along with Cleve. She asks him how can he be so calm in a situation like this, but Cleve tells her that Luna is safe, even though he was crying a lot till now. Alicia crawls towards Cleve, asking him how could he be knocked out with just one hit from the bandit. She asks if he has become as weak as a human after taking this form, and Cleve tells her it is not like that. He was just too shocked at how fragile the human body is, so he fell down and decided to play along. Alicia asks him why don't they run away now, and Cleve replies that as long as he makes Luna the king of Haydn, he plans to hide his true identity. Moreover, he wants to see this side of humans as well. He asks Alicia to explain what is going on here, and why these injured people are being carried like luggage, and she tells him that they were all attacked by the filthy bandits, and they are probably going to be sold off as slaves. Cleve asks her how strong the bandits are, and she replies that they are decently strong as far as humans go, but they don't hesitate in using any dirty tricks, which makes them an irritating opponent. She asks Cleve not to base his idea of humanity on the bandits of all people, but he is more curious now. Soon, they arrive at a deep mine where the bandits tell their prisoners to get out. They sort the men and women separately, and as one guy tries to make a run for it, a bandit sends him to the afterlife by throwing a dagger at his back. The bald bandit then declares that they are the Ravens, and anyone who tries to flee or disobey them will be killed. He then tells everyone to keep moving, but asks Alicia to come with him because he has got some plans for her. Cleve just watches her being taken away, when a blonde bratty woman calls him towards her cabin. She is not really pleased to see that he has brought a kid and calls out another slave, Nell, who is even uglier than your sister. The useless trips over thin air, dropping all the bedsheets she is carrying, and the blonde girl Carmel scolds her. She then tells Nell that one of their new slaves has got a child, and it is her duty to look after kids. As soon as Nell sees Luna, her eyes light up. On the other hand, the bald bandit takes Alicia to the office of another bandit named Vrock, who is currently the temporary boss of the bandits. The bandits, however, refuse to acknowledge him as their boss, and he threatens to let his pet dark beast loose on them if they don't obey him. The men get scared because they are facing a troll, who for some reason obeys Vrock and communicates well with him. Vrock then turns to the bag of Arcanite and Alicia, saying that he heard she got it from the Luna Mountain, which is the stronghold of the Dark Lord Clevites. He knows about the 13 heroes that departed from Haydn to fight Clevites, and he also knows that one of them was a woman. Alicia tries to avoid his gaze, but Vrock is already sure that she is the female hero because she is awfully calm in a situation like this, and she has not yet pissed herself in front of his pet troll. Vrock then tells her that after the heroes failed in their mission, Clevites attacked the royal capital of Haydn and destroyed the castle. He says that it was the best news for their bandit crew, and then unsheathes his knife that has a red edge. Alicia is shocked to see this because only special weapons made from Arcanite have red edges, and only Haydn royals can create them. Vrock tells her that he has heard all about the legendary weapons with special abilities that make their wielders stronger, but the one he has is not a real one. Alicia is surprised to hear that, and he tells her that he doesn't sell just slaves, but also fake magical weapons, and most people are too stupid to know the difference. Vrock then begins explaining the law of supply and demand to Alicia, saying that if the rumors about the Haydn royal family dying are true, it means that these magical weapons can't be created anymore, which increases the value of the already created weapons by a huge amount. The most valuable weapons would be the ones that the heroes carry, but since the heroes die deep in the uncharted territory, they can't get them. However, now that they have a living hero with them, Vrock is sure that they can find the weapons and sell them for a high price. He asks Alicia to tell him where they are, but she refuses to open her mouth, and he decides to let her stay silent for now because he will take her to the Luna Mountain tomorrow to find the weapons. The other bandits say that they can use her to look for their other goal, but Vrock tells them that she is too precious to risk her life, and the other slaves are enough for that. He then tells the bandits to have fun with Alicia if they want, and they start thinking of calling him boss after all. On the other hand, Cleve is working in the restaurant run by the blonde Carmel. Her only customers are the bandits whom she serves in more ways than one. And Nell's duty is to breastfeed Luna because the radius of her milkers is larger than her ick. The bandits keep ordering her around and kicking her for being slow, and timid Nell just takes it all without complaining. Meanwhile, Cleve works as a waiter, giving food to anyone who calls for him, and Carmel thinks that it would be a shame to sell a good worker like him. However, she is also creeped out by him because he has this strange intensity about him. Just then, a guy trips Nell while she is carrying some rum bottles, causing the bottles to fall and break. He accuses her of being clumsy and breaking the bottles and drags her outside along with his friend, saying that she needs to be punished again. Cleve just watches this happen curiously as some bandits laugh at the taste of the weirdos who took Nell outside. The sick perverts spank Nell till she is crying and then tell her not to spill booze again, and she wipes her tears because she needs to hurry and take care of the baby. Meanwhile, the two weirdos keep mocking her for being so stupid when they start feeling dizzy out of nowhere. The very next moment, they cough out blood, fall dead on the ground, and are absorbed by Cleve's shadows. Soon, Nell also comes out, and Cleve tells her that he wants to talk to her. As she breastfeeds Luna, Cleve asks Nell to tell him how exactly is she related to the bandits. She begins telling him that she was born in the bandit crew and never knew anything about her dad. She had a mom though, whom the bandits often hurt and punished. Nell could not understand what was happening because she was born dumb, but once she turned 12, her mother disappeared. Nell didn't know if her mother died or ran away, but then one day, a bandit came to her and started her for no reason. It was then that she realized that her mother was protecting her. They began treating her like cattle, but when Carmen opened her restaurant and brothel, things became a little better. She taught Nell about how to handle men so that they get satisfied quickly and leave her alone, and even though it wasn't much, it helped her. Nell says that now she produces a lot of milk to feed babies, and Cleve recalls that only women who have given birth can produce milk. He asks her where her baby is, and Nell gets gloomy, saying that it was born dead. She says that she blamed herself and wanted so that she could meet her baby on the other side. But when she woke up, she found a baby she didn't know drinking her milk to survive. That sight warmed her heart, and she decided to live a little longer. She tells Cleve that she had 2 more stillborn kids after that, but she stayed here because there were other children who always needed her. She says that she just wants these kids to be happy because she could never see her own, and Cleve tells her that he has heard enough. He thanks her for revealing her story and then asks her to come with him. Nell is confused by what he means, and Cleve tells her to become Luna's wet nurse. He says that he doesn't trust humans, but he thinks he can trust her, and more than that, Luna seems to like her. He again asks her if she will come with him or stay here and be a slave to the filthy bandits. Nell sincerely thanks him for the offer, but says that he can't help her because he himself is a slave, and she will have to care for more babies in the future. On the other hand, Alicia is being taken to a room by the 2 bandits, who tell her to move fast. They warn her not to even think about jumping off the bridge because she will hit the walls and die before reaching the water. Just then, she sees a guy with a rope tied around him getting ready to jump into the lake, and the bandits mock him for being hopelessly stupid. Alicia is curious about this, and luckily the bandits like to talk. They tell her that she must have heard the stories of the hero Cordwar, and everything suddenly becomes clear to her. She has heard that hero Cordwar visited an Arcanite mine before his death and lost his weapon there. Just then, the man at the bottom takes a hook and jumps into the lake, asking the bandits to keep their promise and free him and his wife if he succeeds in finding the weapon. Alicia yells at him to stop because he is not going to find the weapon, and more importantly, there are dark beasts in the water. However, her warning is too late as the monstrous fish eat the poor man in front of his wife. The bandits laugh at him, and Alicia realizes that they never planned to let him free even if he succeeded. They tell her that nothing she says matters because a whole bunch of bandits is ready to play with her tonight, starting with a crazy knife freak. He jumps on the bridge, saying that he will rip off her clothes here for everyone to see, and Alicia decides to use the curse of immortality Cleve placed on her to good use. She dislocates her joints to get out of her handcuffs and then crushes the freak's neck with it. She then uses his knife to cut the bridge's rope, causing both of them to fall to their death. And she just hopes that Cleve was not lying about her being immortal. The bandits panic as they see Alicia's squashed body at the bottom of the mine because they know that Vrock is going to make an example out of them if he finds out that his ticket to wealth died on their watch. They decide to head to the bottom first and check out if there is any chance of the girl being alive. And at the same time, Alicia returns to her senses. She looks around and finds blood scattered everywhere, but she can't see anything more than that. She finds herself unable to move her body, and there is no sensation below her neck. She is not even glad that she is at least alive, because she would have preferred death to being a vegetable. She tries to force her body to move before the bandits arrive, and suddenly, her blood starts moving up in the air, taking the shape of a mini Cleve, who tells her that she has lost too much blood to do anything. Alicia is shocked to see him and asks why the hell does he look like a puppy. Cleve replies that his size and form depends on the amount of the magic power, and his current size reflects the amount of magic he put inside her body to keep her alive. He explains that if she loses all this energy, she will die. But as long as he thinks she is valuable, he will keep pumping more magic into her so that she can live. Alicia asks him why isn't he giving her some magic and restoring his body, and then wonders if he has decided that she is worthless. However, Cleve says that he just wants to ask her a question before anything. He tells Alicia that he found the perfect wet nurse for Luna and tells her about Nell. Despite being a demon lord who hates humanity, Cleve feels that Nell is treated really badly, and she would gladly jump on the offer to work for him. He is confused about why she refused the offer without even considering it, and asks Alicia to give him some input as a human. Alicia tells him that Nell must have turned him down because she thought he is a kid and a slave who has no real power. The bandits don't let anyone leave once they capture them, and Nell doesn't think she can ever get away from them. Cleve now understands Nell's reasoning, and he asks Alicia what he should do in this case. She immediately suggests that the easiest way to solve his problems is to crush the bandits, because once Nell sees that no one is going to come after her, she will agree to his deal. She pushes Cleve to do it quickly, saying that he should have no problem because he is way too overpowered. However, Cleve refuses to act out so violently because he doesn't want to reveal that he has left the mountain. He wants to keep his identity a secret, but he still wants the bandits to be gone. So he suddenly has an idea and tells Alicia to defeat them on his behalf. Alicia is shocked to hear that, but Cleve thinks that since she is the hero, no one will be surprised if she destroys a bandit group or two. Alicia tries telling him that it is not how things work, but Cleve doesn't listen to her and shoves all the blood into her throat, along with some of his magic. Alicia screams in pain as the magic begins to repair her body, and soon the bandits arrive there. They are shocked to see Alicia standing on her feet, but more than that, they are shocked by her bizarre dance moves. After hitting a routine that could have won her the Olympic gold for breakdancing, Alicia lets out a powerful scream, scaring the bandits out of their wits. While she is still trying to cope with the pain of having her bones reconnected, the bandits begin seeing her as some kind of monster. Despite being scared shitless, they decide to fight and capture Alicia, because they just need to keep her alive till they learn the location of the 13 weapons. Their leaders tell the rest of the bandits to cut off Alicia's arms if they have to, because they need to capture her anyhow. One of the overeager bandits dashes towards her, thinking that she must be weak because she is a woman. But Alicia is ready to show them who they are messing with. She stays still as the bandit attacks her left hand, taking the hit from his sword on purpose. His sword gets stuck in her arm, and then Alicia punches him away. The bandit's eye patch also flies away, and she decides to steal it along with his sword. She wears the eye patch, asking Cleve if she just needs to kill these bastards, because that will be pretty easy. Meanwhile, Cleve is busy taking Luna back to his cradle. He assures the baby that Alicia will be safe because she was the first human to ever put a scratch on his horn. He decides to convince Nell to join him in the time Alicia deals with the bandits, and at the same time, Nell reaches the bar too, where Carmel is waiting for her. She scolds her for taking too long to satisfy the two men, but Nell tells her that she was feeding the baby. Carmel calms down a bit on hearing that and tells her to get back to the cleaning, but then notices that Nell is in an awfully good mood. Carmel asks her if anything good happened earlier, but Nell just asks her to tell her about the outside world in return. Carmel's mood suddenly sours on hearing this, and she replies that she doesn't have any good memories of the outside world. She then asks Nell why is she so curious about it, and she replies that someone asked her to leave this place with him and Vrock, who was just passing by. Here's everything. Carmel is shocked on hearing this too, and she slaps Nell first before telling her to come back to her senses. She says that they can't go anywhere from this place because this is the rock bottom. But then Vrock arrives there, saying that he wants to hear more about what Nell was saying. He asks her to come with him and Carmel panics, realizing what he is planning to do. But she can't stop him because that will put her in danger. Carmel starts throwing a tantrum once the room is empty, wondering how the hell are they going to feed the babies without Nell. Just then, Cleve arrives there with Luna, and on seeing him, Carmel tells him that they can't have any more milk because Nell is gone for good now. Cleve is curious about it, and he uses his intimidating gaze to force her into revealing all the details. Meanwhile, Vrock leads Nell down a small tunnel, and she freaks out as she sees a skull on the ground. But Vrock tells her that it is just the skull of a rat, and then blows out the candle. Nell gets scared of the dark, and when Vrock lights the candle again, his pet troll is right behind the poor woman. Her mind goes blank as she sees the drooling monster, and Vrock tells her that before he became a bandit, he was a researcher who developed a magic drug using arcanite that could control dark beasts. He orders his pet troll to eat her up because she dared to dream of leaving this place, and Nell tries to run away, wondering if things would have been different had she taken Cleve's hand earlier. Just then, she sees Cleve and Luna in front of her and apologizes to the child because she won't be able to feed him again. Cleve can just watch as the troll devours Nell whole and Luna starts crying. Cleve tells her that there is no need to cry because eating and being eaten is the cycle of life. He thinks that he is the only one at fault for not arriving here on time and letting Nell die, but then decides to move over to the more important issues. He turns to the enslaved troll, asking why is it being commanded by a mere human. Vrock is quite surprised at how the kid is talking so confidently to his pet troll, but he thinks it doesn't matter. He orders the troll to eat him up, but to his shock, the troll is frozen stiff from fear. It suddenly starts stomping on the ground and pukes the injured Nell out because of its panic attack, and Cleve realizes that the woman is barely alive. He immediately uses his powers to neutralize the troll's stomach acid and then places Luna next to Nell. He tells Luna to comfort the dying Nell because only a baby can do that. Luna doesn't even seem to understand what he means, but Cleve sends them away to a safe place. Meanwhile, Vrock is trying to learn what is wrong with the troll and how could it be afraid of a mere boy. When he turns around, he is shocked to see Nell missing, but Cleve is still there, staring intently at him. Vrock accuses him of being a magic user, but Cleve doesn't even know what he is talking about. Vrock declares that no young magician can defeat a veteran like him because it was his generation that laid down the foundation of magic. He decides to show Cleve his real abilities and pulls out a test tube containing a red powder. He says that he created this powder using arcanite, various medicinal herbs and powder of fly maggots that allows him to control female trolls at will. He puts a bit of the powder in the lantern, creating a thick red smoke that immediately wipes out the troll's fear and forces it to attack Cleve, who also feels taken aback by the strange smoke. He tries to fight back, but the troll is faster and stronger than his human body. It punches him to the ground, and as Cleve bounces back up, he curses Alicia for not telling him about the technology called magic that humans use. Meanwhile, Alicia is fighting against the bandits, but she is exhausted because they don't stop coming after her. One of the bandits attacks her with his huge hammer, shattering her sword and breaking her bones, but Alicia gets up again. She realizes that she needs a better weapon to fight against the bandits, and the only weapon suitable for that job is the lost sword of the legendary hero. Alicia runs towards the lake to get the sword, but she realizes that she will be instantly eaten by the monstrous fish. So she grabs an axe and runs up the scaffolding instead, and the bandits quickly reach her. They start climbing up to catch her, but Alicia was waiting for this. She throws the axe at the rope holding the scaffolding in place, and the entire structure collapses. The bandits fall into the lake and get quickly devoured by the monsters, but Alicia hides in a barrel, quietly drowning to the bottom of the lake where the legendary sword lies. However, holding her breath until she reaches the bottom is easier said than done, and Alicia soon experiences the pain and pressure that she already took into account when she jumped into the water. She feels the pressure making her senses go numb while her body is aching from the lack of oxygen. She knows that she won't die even if she suffocates here, but it takes a lot of effort to stop her body from reacting instinctively and trying to reach the surface. After a few minutes, she finally hits the ground and rolls out of the barrel. She spots the red gleam of the magic sword from a distance and immediately swims towards it despite her body feeling too heavy to move. Alicia knows that if she gets the sword, she will become much more powerful and escaping to the surface will be easy. But just as she is about to grab it, a giant red eye appears in front of her. Only then does Alicia realize that she is not at the bottom of the lake, but on top of a gigantic monster that has noticed her. The monster rises up, sending her away with the resulting water flow, and Alicia realizes that this beast was the reason the legendary hero lost here. However, she quickly returns her focus to the sword and tries grabbing it, but then the giant monster opens its mouth to suck her in. Alicia can't resist the pull, but luckily, she grabs the sword just as the monster swallows her. Her arm gets stuck in between the monster's jaw, but then, through the power of flashback scenes, she unleashes her full strength, breaking the monster's jaw. After getting freed, she stares at the monster's eye while she brings out the power of the magic sword. She then quickly swings the sword and uses its ability to manipulate water to propel herself ahead at great speed. The giant monster gives chase and Alicia still finds it hard to believe that something bigger than your mama exists. She thinks that it must be one of the ancient ones, who are dark beasts that have lived for thousands of years. They usually lie dormant in inaccessible parts of the continent. But this one was awakened from its sleep when humans formed an arcanite mine here. While thinking this, she reaches close to the surface, but the smaller monsters there notice her too. Alicia realizes that she needs to get oxygen to have any chance of victory, but the monster fishes are right on top of her. She propels herself using a sword swing and then slices through a monster before jumping out of the water. The bandits are astonished to see her alive, but as Alicia is trying to catch her breath, the gigantic monster comes out of the water too. The bandits lose their minds on seeing it, and then the monster starts attacking everyone with its tentacles. Alicia can only dodge and retreat because her attacks are only skin deep against the giant monster. She realizes that a single hero can't fight against an ancient one, but luckily, it kills and eats all the bandits. Whatever is left becomes a treat for the monster fish, and Alicia thinks that her job is now done. Suddenly, she hears Clev's voice and tries to find him, but he tells her that they are talking through telepathy. He tells her that he can't see it clearly, but judging from the blood all around the place, he is sure that she has finished her job. Alicia starts yelling at him because he should have helped her if he saw how much she was struggling, but Clev tells her that he has his own issues to deal with right now. Alicia can't understand what can bother a demon lord, and Clev tells her that he is dealing with a technique he has never seen before, and his human body is weaker than he thought. He says that she hid the existence of magic from him, and once she returns he will properly punish her. However, he has already defeated the brainwashed troll, and is just aura farming right now. Meanwhile, Vrock is running for his life, thinking that Clev is a really amazing magician who defeated his pet troll in one hit. Suddenly, he stumbles on Nell's dead body with Luna crying next to it, and seeing the child gives him an idea to win, even in this desperate situation. On the other hand, Alicia comes running to Clev after getting his orders, and immediately notices the weird smoke in the air. Clev also notices the sword that she has now concealed with a cloth, and she tells him that she is not going to throw it away because she risked her life to get it. Clev doesn't care that much about the sword because he is bothered by the crimson smoke. He tells Alicia that it doesn't seem to affect normal animals and humans, but it really shakes up his senses as a demon lord. He can't smell anything and his ears are ringing, and he doesn't like this feeling. He says that he can blow it all up if he transforms into his real form, but he can't risk doing that without knowing where Luna is. Alicia panics on learning that Luna is not with Clev, but he tells her that she shouldn't be far off. He then asks her about magic, and Alicia says that only some people do it by bringing out the hidden power inside Arcanite. She says that she can't use magic even though she knows a bit about it, and Clev calls her useless. Alicia takes offense at this and starts cursing him, but Clev decides to search for Luna and Nell, thinking that there is a chance that they are dead. A chill runs down Alicia's spine as she hears that, and she asks Cleve what he will do if Luna is dead. He coldly replies that he will lose any interest he has in humanity, and Alicia realizes that it will be the worst possible outcome. She decides to find Luna as soon as possible to save humanity from Cleve, and soon she finds a blood trail. She asks Cleve if Nell was bleeding, and he affirms. Alicia says that either she is crawling or someone is dragging her, but she won't be able to go that far in either case, so they should hurry. As it turns out, Nell is not dead yet, and she is clinging on to Vrock with her full strength to protect Luna, even with her dying breath. He curses and kicks her as he tells her to let go, but Nell stubbornly holds on. Vrock wants to get rid of her and escape with Luna, because earlier, when he tried to take him away, Luna started crying, and his scream caused his magic lantern to explode. Vrock realized that Luna had strong talent for magic, and he was a pure-blooded Hydnian, which means that he can be from the royal family. He decides to cut Nell's wrist to get rid of her, but just then, Alicia arrives there, telling him to stop. Vrock freaks out and asks what happened to his men that were with her, and Cleve answers his question, saying that they became food for the dark beast. Vrock panics even more, but he threatens Alicia and Cleve to stay away, or he will cut off Luna's fingers. Cleve dares him to go ahead because he can just heal the injuries with his powers, but Alicia tells him that he can't undo the hurt that the child will face. She asks him to let her handle the negotiations on her own, and then reveals that she has the magic weapon of the legendary hero. Vrock can't believe his eyes when he sees the weapon, but then Alicia flings it at the wall behind him, telling him to go and take it. She says that he needs to use both hands to remove the sword, but if he leaves Luna on the ground, she will let him take it with him. However, Vrock just starts chuckling at this, because he believes that no hero will let go of a magic weapon for just a baby. He is now sure that Luna has royal blood in his veins, and that makes him reconsider his strategy. He tells Alicia to reveal the location of the 13 weapons that belong to her and her companions if she wants the baby, and Cleve tells her to reveal the location because they are just weapons. Alicia tells him that the weapons are at the bottom of the valley under the Luna Mountains, but he has to go there himself to get them. Vrock laughs, saying that he can totally get those weapons by himself because he knows more than one kind of magic. He suddenly releases a black powder in the air and then gently hits Luna, making him cry to instinctively activate his magic powers. Thanks to Luna's powers, the black powder triggers Vrock's invisibility spell, making him vanish without a trace. He begins walking away, confident that Alicia and Cleve can't see him at all. But then suddenly, Alicia pops up in front of him and slices him in half. Vrock can't understand how she found him, and she tells him that even when he turned invisible and reduced the voice coming from himself, she could hear Luna crying. In the meantime, Cleve takes Luna back and dusts the invisibility powder off his body. Alicia decides to let Vrock's dead body stay invisible, and then realizes that Luna survived only because Nell protected her so desperately. She asks Cleve if he can't save her, and he replies that he can only control one zombie puppet at a time, and Nell has lost too much of her body to regenerate with his power. He says that they need to get those parts from somewhere else, but it will be easier if they let her die. Alicia snaps on hearing that, asking how he can leave the woman who saved his kid to die. She says that if she was a mother, she would definitely trust her child with someone like her, and Cleve decides to save Nell on hearing her arguments. However, he tells Alicia that she will have to die while he saves her, because he needs all the mana he has put into her body. Alicia tells him that she doesn't care about dying for the sake of others because she is a hero, and Cleve immediately unalives her. Soon after that, Nell wakes up, surprised that she is still alive. But what is even more shocking is that her body has been completely remodeled by Cleve while he was healing her. Nell asks him if he saved her, and he affirms, saying that she should thank the hero for that. He says that it took quite some time to heal Nell and Alicia's body started rotting in the meantime. But now that he has put his mana back inside her, she will wake up any moment. A few seconds later, Alicia wakes up with her breakdance routine, and the first thing she looks for is her sword. Cleve tells Nell that she has been reborn, and now her name is Nelleru. He hands Luna to her, saying that from now on, she will come with them, and Nell is more than happy to accept his offer this time. The next day, Cleve decides to confiscate Alicia's magic sword, telling her that it draws too much attention. His shadow swallows the sword, and Alicia is devastated by this, but he tells her that he will give it to her when it is needed, so she should be grateful that he isn't just throwing it away. Just then, Nell comes there, telling Cleve that he uses some very strange spells. He asks her if she has packed everything they need for their journey, and she happily shows him that she got everything, and even some new clothes for Luna. Alicia is surprised by this and asks Nell if the luggage isn't too much for her, but the girl replies that it is actually quite light. Alicia begins wondering if Cleve substituted her body parts with those of the bandits to give her extra strength. Suddenly, Nell says that she can carry her sword and armor too if she wants, but Alicia tells her that she no longer has her sword. Nell remembers that Carmel once told her about how Vrock kept a lot of good stuff in his desk, and Alicia immediately begs Cleve to let her have one sword. He agrees to that because she is pretty useless without a weapon, and Alicia immediately runs to the bandit's office. In the meantime, Cleve and Nell head to the gate, and he asks her if she feels nostalgic leaving this place. Nell replies that she doesn't have any good memories of this place, but this is where she lived with her mom, and seeing it empty makes her feel a bit sad. She says that Carmel is the only person she wants to see before going away, but that would be too suspicious in her current appearance. Cleve gets curious about Carmel when suddenly, a guy leaps at him from the sky, saying that he found the guy who uses weird magic. Meanwhile, Alicia reaches Vrock's office and begins looking through his desk. She takes his money and then finds some kinky leather armor on his desk. She is disgusted thinking all the stuff that the armor might have gone through, but it will still keep her safe in a battle, so she wears it before finding a good sword. However, just as she is about to return, Cleve comes crashing through the wall next to her. Alicia freaks out on seeing this and asks what is happening, but he can only curse the weakness of his current body for this. Just then, the attacker comes there and Alicia immediately realizes that he is quite strong. She gets ready to fight him, but the guy attacks her first. She dodges his kick completely but still gets cut on her face, which makes her realize that he is not normal. The man also realizes that she is strong, so he keeps kicking her from mid-air, pushing her back. That is not enough to defeat Alicia, so he puts some distance between them before using a powerful sonic attack that sends her flying through the roof. The man comes outside to finish her, but warns her that he only cares about the magician. He promises to let her go if she stops right now. But this pisses off Alicia because she is a hero and no one should underestimate her. She decides to pull out her special move before asking Cleve for the magic sword. She forcefully makes her mind go blank, putting all her intelligence points into attack instead. Her sword loses its shape and turns flexible, and the guy is not able to react in time as Alicia approaches him with great speed. However, right as she is about to slice his jaw open, one command from Cleve stops her. She is still stuck in the brainless state, and Cleve knocks her out of it with a light smack to her head. He then tells her that going brainless to attack this guy would have been her worst mistake, because right before she would hit him, his kick would have torn her apart. Alicia realizes it only then, and then Cleve says that they are not enemies, and this man attacked them because of a misunderstanding. The guy also calms down a bit and tells Cleve to clear the misunderstanding quickly if he wants to live. He still doesn't trust them at all and remarks that Nell smells like a mountain troll, and she says that it must be because she got swallowed by one. The attacker then explains that he got news about a magician who was controlling a mountain troll with magic, so he came here to deal with him. However, he found the mountain troll dead with its body parts missing, and assumed that Cleve was the magician who killed it because he couldn't control it. Cleve now realizes what is going on, and he sends Nell and Luna to safety before anything else. Alicia asks if she should go to guard them, but Cleve wants her to stay because the man in front of them is actually a dark beast in disguise. She is shocked to hear this, and Cleve says that the illusion magic cast on him is so strong that even he can't see his true form, and the only one who can do that is the demon lord of the west, Zaphthier. Alicia freaks out at this, and then Cleve says that Zaphthier and he don't get along that well. The man asks him how he knows all this, and Cleve pretends to be a servant of the demon lord Clevites because he doesn't want others to know about his real identity. The man believes him and says that despite the fact that their masters are not friends, they have the same goal. He then turns into a huge demon bird and introduces himself as Gart, a servant of the Western Demon Lord. He has heard that Clevites recently destroyed a human kingdom, and even Zaphthier is planning to launch a massive attack on them. He asks Clef to show proof that he is a dark beast, and he whips out one of his tentacles. Gart is satisfied by that, and he turns back to his human form, saying that they have no reason to fight now. However, Alicia is having an internal panic attack, because now Clef is not the only dark beast who can turn into humans and talk like them, and she fears that humanity is doomed if there are more of them. Clef tells her to stop overthinking because only a few high-level dark beasts can talk like humans, and they won't get involved with humans without a good reason. Gart says that is correct, and that is why he wants to know why Clef is with a hero, who is a natural enemy of the demons. Clef tells him that Alicia might be a hero, but she is his servant right now, and she can't disobey his commands. He states that his mission is to learn about the humanoid species, and Alicia, as well as Luna and Nell, are tools that will allow him to do so. He refuses to tell him any more details than that, and Gart is satisfied, but he makes it clear that if anyone gets in his way, he will kill them, even if they are Clev's servants. Clef tells him that he will fail, and then asks him why is he here, and why is Zaphthier trying to attack humans, because he actually has the best PR with them. He enjoys observing humans, and is even worshipped as a god by the ogres that live there, so he should not have any reason to turn hostile. Gart tells him that 3 days ago, he was patrolling the western forests when he saw some dark beasts looking for their missing children. He spotted a vial of potion that only humans could have left behind there, and he immediately took it to Zaphthier, telling her that recently, a lot of dark beast younglings have gone missing, and it was probably humans who took them. Zaphthier got angry at this, and she decided to send Gart to investigate the matter personally, because if the humans were really responsible for the kidnappings, they would have to be destroyed. Clef is surprised that Zaphthier found this out before him, and he tells Gart that the problem might be even more serious than that. He says that he recently talked to a human woman, and by talking, he means terrorizing Carmel until she gave him all the answers he wanted. She told him that the women here are not supposed to give birth, and if they ever do, scary men in black robes arrive to buy them, talking about talent and stuff. Turns out Nell's kids were not stillborn, and Carmel killed them so that they wouldn't be sold and suffer a worse fate. She confessed to this when Clef asked her, and told him she had to protect Nell from seeing the trauma of her child being taken away. However, Clef simply reminded her that Nell grew up here, which meant her mother hid her and protected her all the time, and that Carmel and others never even tried in the first place. As he finishes with the story, Clef tells Gart that the kidnapping of dark beasts and the shady deals here must be both connected, and he highly suspects that magic is the thing that connects them. Alicia lets out a disgusted expression on hearing this, and Clef asks her what she is thinking. She tells him that even though she doesn't know much about magic, she knows about wizards, who use magic as a tool to fight. Currently, the strength of the wizards determines the result of wars, and the first person to bring them onto the battlefield was General Drell of the Bolate army, who is also the bastard who killed her dad. Clef is disappointed that Alicia came to kill him instead of the guy who killed her dad, and she tells him that it was her dad's last wish. At the same time, Drell is leading an enormous army and a giant dark beast to capture Haydn that is left without a king, and the ones standing in his way are the soldiers of the other human nation Eslan. However, they are at a real disadvantage because they don't have enough soldiers or wizards, and their captain, Rod, knows that they can't even stop Drell till their main forces arrive. He knows that Drell is after the Haydnian royal forge that is the only place in the world where magic swords can be made, and it is also the world's oldest magic item. He fears that if Drell and Bolate Kingdom get their hands on it, their magic technology will become even more fearsome than it already is, and he hopes that Eslan Kingdom can cooperate with Haydn to stop them. However, it is too late, as Maynard, the strongest wizard in the Bolate army, had already infiltrated Haydn while Drell was fighting outside. He has already killed all the guards inside the gate, and opened it to let Drell and his army inside. He tells him that he has confirmed the news of the king's death, and the crown princess is safe but out of their reach. However, the problem is that the 6-month-old prince has been missing ever since the capital city was destroyed, and that child is the only one with guaranteed pure Haydnian bloodline. Maynard tells Drell that his ravens told him that the prince was taken by a boy with black hair, and recently they have found a similar pair in the northern direction. Drell is impressed by his information gathering and then orders him to find the prince and bring him to him by the time he conquers the capital of Haydn. But that's where this video ends. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.